Today, I am going to explain the science fiction thriller film called Settlers. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. We begin at a compound, located in a valley on Mars. There are 3 people that live there: the father, mother, and Remy, their daughter. The father, with a sniper rifle at his side, keeps watch while the mother tends to things, and their daughter plays and explores nearby surroundings. One night, the father comes home with his gun. The look on his face makes Remy nervous. Later in the night, Remy eavesdrops on her father trying to calm her mother down as she expresses concern about someone knowing where they are. As Remy's father tells her goodnight, he can tell something is wrong. She asks him if there are any strangers nearby, but he promises they are alone and safe. The two banter back and forth very adorably, really showcasing how close they are. Unable to sleep, Remy goes to her parents' room and calls out for her dad. Now awake, the 3 play music and share in an incredibly warm moment. Remy's mother plays a song, and her voice is beautiful. We cut away to a brief ominous view of their home. Back in the room, Remy is now asking questions about Earth. Her father explains that they left Earth in favor of Mars because they wanted something more. The following morning, Remy walks into the kitchen only to find the word leave written in blood on a window. As she moves forward to take a closer look, her mother enters the room and starts to panic. Remy's father immediately rushes into view with his gun, visibly shaken and short-tempered. He yells at his wife to shut up as he looks out a window, hoping to catch sight of the culprit. A while later, things are still tense. Remy's mother wonders if it's someone's son, but her husband immediately says don't. Voices from outside are heard howling, making the mood inside even more tense than it already was. Remy's father screams the words "come on" over and over again. Knowing the word leave was written in pig's blood, Remy lets her mom know she thinks the other pig is still alive. Worn out, her mother tells her to let it go. While Remy's father embraces her mother apologetically, Remy can't stop thinking about their second pig. She quietly opens the door and then sets out to check on it. Remy's mother senses something is wrong. As Remy opens the gate and pets the pig, Remy's mother runs outside shouting for her to return home. Remy starts to head back when she notices 2 adult figures following after her. Remy's father comes into view. Shoots one clean dead. Remy's mother runs past her, tackles the other, stabs her repeatedly. Remy's mother helps bring Remy back inside, and then she helps her husband snipe the 3rd and final person. Back inside, Remy's father reloads his gun and tells his wife to lock the door behind him. His daughter begs him not to leave, but his mind is made up. Come nightfall, he still hasn't returned. They hear a gunshot and can't help wonder if it came from or was directed at Remy's father. Holed up and on edge, Remy tells her mother that she needs to use the bathroom. Remy's mother nervously walks her to it when they hear a noise and grow scared. They hide in a dark room when all of the main lights shut off. Lit by a daunting red glow from a backup generator, Remy and her mother carefully listen as more noises from inside are heard. The following day they are still okay. Armed with a long blade, Remy's mother approaches the main room while holding her daughter's hand. Remy's mother looks out the window to find their pig grazing about. When she looks back at her daughter, she sees a man with his gun pointed right at her. He demands that she drop her blade. After she obliges, he tells her that this place does not belong to her. It was the house he was raised in. While he has no plans of leaving, he insists he doesn't want to hurt them and gives them the option to leave, or stay and he'd protect them. Remy's mother holds her daughter in her arms as she flees from their home. They duck low and Remy pleads with her mom for them to leave. Her mother insists over and over again that she isn't going to let anything happen to her. While the man is out, Remy's mother runs back inside and grabs a weapon. Fully aware that her aim is to kill him, the man grabs her by her hair. She stabs him in the leg with the knife, but he hardly reacts. With a gun to her head, he demands to know how killing him is going to help her. The man tells her that in 30 days he will lay his gun down on the table and turn his back. If in that moment she still wants him dead, she may pick the weapon up and fire away. Knowing he killed her husband, she expresses to him that she'd like him buried properly. While mourning over her father, Remy notices the man mourning one of the bodies her parents killed. Anticipating his death, Remy counts down the days. While doing dishes, Remy's mother is annoyed to find the man removed all knives from the utensil drawer. She watches him bathe, he watches her garden. One day, while snooping through his things, Remy comes across a beautiful portrait of the woman Remy's father shot dead. Remy grows fearful as she connects the pieces. Despite his efforts, Remy's mother refuses to open up. As he leaves, he tells her he fixed the tap water. Remy's mother cannot help but smile. One day, while watching over her pig, Remy meets one of the man's gadgets, a spirited robot. The robot's anxious characteristics crack Remy up and the two become fast friends. She even gives it a name. Steve. Remy watches her mother prepare dinner with a knife. She watches the man enter the house. She watches him get close enough to be killed. She watches him stay alive. It is day 27. Remy smells her father's jacket and embraces it. Meanwhile, as her mother gardens, the man makes a move on her which she doesn't resist. From her bedroom, Remy sees everything. Steve looks on while a heartbroken, furious Remy runs away. The robot tries to follow her, but she tells him to leave because it isn't safe. She also lets it know it can tell her mother to have a new daughter with the man. Remy treks and climbs and journeys on. She pauses to take a good hard look at the vast nothingness that surrounds her and screams, as if to let out a lot of bottled up emotions. While reflecting, she notices something. A high-tech door attached to a cave. She approaches it and presses a button that opens it up. As she stares into the cave, she hears her mother cry out for her. Startled, she hurries inside. Remy moves forward and the door closes, encompassing her in darkness. With just a tiny orb to provide a hint of light, she presses on bravely. In the distance, another light forms. Remy suddenly struggles to breathe. She collapses to the ground and crawls to move until the orb slips from her hand and she passes out. The man, wearing a gas mask, picks her up and carries her out of the cave. She comes to, back at home, in her bed. She steps outside where the man is kicked back with a book. He brings up the cave, and asks if she'd like to know what's on the other side. She says obviously, and he tells her that nothing is on the other side. Just more sand, and dirt and nothingness. Remy watches the man burn all of his masks, ruining any future opportunity she could make for herself to leave. Remy continues to ignore her mother. Before leaving the room, her mother lets her know that she understands the way she feels, and promises that not only did she love Remy's father, but her love for Remy is more than she could ever know. The following morning, Remy and her mother find the man with their guitar. He asks Remy's mother to play a song. She sits down and begins to play the song she would play for Remy and her father. The more she plays, the more angry and torn apart Remy feels. Unable to take any more, Remy runs off. Her mother chases after her daughter and begs for her to trust her. But Remy lets her know she hates her. Back at the house, the man takes his gun out and lays it on the table. He steps onto the porch and locks eyes with Remy. When he turns back around, Remy's mother has the gun pointed directly at him. He tells her to pull the trigger, and when she does, she finds that it isn't loaded. Disappointed, he runs after her as she hurries for a knife. Remy remains frozen where she stands. Injured, but alive, the man is the only one who walks back out. Remy runs away, but he chases after her. He catches up, and Remy cries out while he promises her it's okay. It's now years later. Remy is deciding which of their now many pigs she will slaughter. As she prepares to do what she's gotta, the man hands her a gun. Remy struggles, but manages to shoot the pig. Over dinner, the man tells Remy he will be heading to the valley the following morning. He asks her permission to take Steve with him, and then proceeds to joke about a made-up conversation he had with it. Remy can't help but laugh. The man points out that's the 11th time he has been able to make her chuckle this year. While on a walk, Remy sees the man taking a bath in a small watering hole. He gets out and recommends she get in. The water's cold, but she enjoys it. Afterwards, Remy takes a seat next to the man under a tree facing the opposite direction. He sips from a flask and shares it with her. When they get back home, the man tells Remy he has something for her. She reluctantly waits to see what it is. He hands it to her and she unwraps it to find that it's a portrait sketch of her mother. He lets her know how proud she would be of the woman Remy has become. She starts to cry. He wipes the tears from her eyes and embraces her. The man tries to kiss her and Remy pulls off of him, shocked. He watches as she hurries to her room. The man pauses in front of her door and sets the portrait down. The next day, Steve walks in as Remy is soldering something. Back in her bedroom, she pulls a chest out from under her bed and removes a breathing mask. That night, the man is drinking again. He sits across from her while she eats, clearly wasted. He ensures her that there's no rush, and the resistance she feels towards his advances are normal. She finally speaks, to let him know that she can't do it. When he asks what it is she can't do, her face says it all. He calmly reaffirms that they have plenty of time, to which she emphatically says never. When he blows her off by telling her she's still young, Remy tells him that he's not listening to her. As tension builds, Remy lets him know that if he were to force a baby inside of her, she would kill it. Remy walks into her bedroom where the man is, waiting for her. In his hands is the face mask she was hiding. He quietly asks her if there is somewhere she plans on going. He aggressively marches up to her, forcing her to stumble back against the wall. Still holding on to the mask, he walks away. Remy follows him outside and demands the mask back. Livid tells her that all of this is for her. She tells him that he can't control her, then he shoves the mask in her face. The man throws her down and she hits her head on a pipe, rendering her unconscious. He looks up and sees that Steve is watching. Remy wakes up tied to the bed. He tries to calm her down, but she pleads with him not to take advantage of her. She cries out and he explodes on her, removing his gun and putting it to her head. Right as he is about to do the unthinkable, Steve makes his presence known. Steve fires a blast into his neck. Shocked and bleeding out, the man stumbles towards Steve, shooting bullets at the robot as it retreats. The man pauses at the sink, then sees Remy in the window's reflection with a gun cocked and ready. The man goes to grab his gun, but chooses not to. He turns to face her and nods. Remy shoots him in the head. Remy packs for whatever journey awaits her, and says goodbye to her best friend. She tells Steve that this is his home now, and makes sure he knows that he is loved. She looks back once she departs to find Steve going over to check on the pigs. We watch Remy re-enter the cave, but this time, we watch her make it to the other side. Subscribe with post notifications on and leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.